Alex, thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited.
Awesome. Well, tell me, I like to start every interview by asking guests, as a kid, what did you want to be when you grew up?
I think about this question sometimes because I think every day we move forward, we always think about the future. Like we are
Yeah.
always thinking about what are we going to do tomorrow? We're going to eat for our next meal. Like, where do I want to
Yeah.
be in
Yeah.
5 years? Just simple things, but we never really think about the past and like how far we've come and like
Mm.
all the things we've been able to truly overcome in our lives. And even things that we thought we were going to do. And now we definitely don't do those things anymore. It's always such a reflection in truly how you live your life from where you've come from. And so I think about what I wanted to do in the past. And of course, I probably have those like typical answers of, I wanted to do this. I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a
Mm.
doctor. Like, I think at one point I wanted to be a race car driver just because I was like, I can drive really fast. Like, I was like, my parents were like, that's not a good idea. So I've had all of those dreams and aspirations of doing all these like crazy things that you
Mm.
see.
Mm.
But at the end of the day, like I talked to my family and they knew from a very early on stage that I was an artist, I was a creative. My family, my mom would come home with new clothes for me. And just because she was out shopping and she picked up a couple things, and
Mm.
I would be like, I'm not wearing that. That is not my style. Or my dad and I would go shopping for like new school clothes or something at the start of the year. And I would be like, okay, well, this and this goes together. So I already from a very young age was like, these colors, these textures,
Mm.
all of those moments go together. I did not know what that would look like, of
Mm.
course, because
Right.
when you call yourself a fashion stylist, I didn't know that was even a job title
Yeah. Yeah.
whenever I was growing up because we just see what we see. And that was
Yeah.
never something that was in our family. But I definitely knew from an early age that it was going to be something. My parents knew from an early age it was going to be something in the creative field.
Mm.
And then around 18, 19 years old, I kind of just got this itch. I was babysitting for some extra cash in college. And I remember this so vividly. And I was babysitting for this newly divorced dad. He was
Mm.
going out on his first date. He walked out and I was like, what are you wearing? I was like, you can't go out like that. That's not a thing. And I helped change his wardrobe and really get it up to date and organize his closet, get anything out of his closet that wasn't supposed to be in there. And so, pretty much right then and there, I was like, oh, I can help people
Mm.
and I can be creative at the same time. Like,
Mm.
let's do this.
Mm.
So that is where it really stems from with the fashion styling, wardrobe styling is like, I'm not only able to be a creative artist and truly create art with my clients and friends, but I'm also able to help and showing others how they can step out in their true form and feel comfortable and confident and like they own the room.
I love that. And it's interesting because you're talking about college and how you got to do this and help someone. And for that guy going out on that date, that was impactful. It had
Yeah.
meaning for him. He was probably nervous and
Yeah.
it probably helped him feel more confident in that moment.
Yeah. And so we took him shopping. We got him in the new fits and like really up to date. And I remember a few months later, he came up to me and he was just like, I just want to thank you like
Oh,
so much. Just because,
wow.
helped me with my confidence. And then he had a girlfriend. And I was like, you're
Oh,
welcome. Got you. So
that's awesome.
yeah, I
Well,
really love that.
Well, and tell me, what were you majoring in college? And did you, from that moment, know that that's what you wanted to do? Or was it, I could do this, but I've already kind of set out on this other path? What was the road to your role today?
I honestly really didn't even know what I wanted to do. And so whenever I went to college, I was like just going to college to
Yeah.
kind of get the degree. And so I
Yeah.
majored business and marketing at UNT. And I was just kind of going. I was like, okay, I know I need to do this. I didn't
Mhm.
really know of the contract, creative,
Gotcha.
entrepreneurship. I didn't know what that world looked like. at the time, I was taking psychology classes, I was taking
Mm,
business classes. I was doing all the check marks of what I was
mm,
supposed to be doing because that's what I thought. And
mm.
then as soon as I got out of college, which there was a period I lived in Nashville
Oh,
before that,
cool.
by the way. Yeah, I moved to Nashville and that's kind of where I was like, oh, okay, like musicians and artists and creatives.
Mm.
So then going to college, I was like, okay, I don't really know how to combine this. What am I going to do? So business, I started doing the classes. And then from there, as soon as I graduated college with my degree, I got signed on with the Campbell agency in Dallas, Texas, and really started working that contract.
What is the Campbell agency?
Campbell agency is a modeling artist agency.
Oh,
And so,
cool.
yeah, it's amazing. So they house models that we do editorials, runway, photo shoots. So I got to really kind of wrap my brain around what it looked like to be involved with photographers, hair and
Mm,
makeup artists, dressing models, be like being organized and working runways, and just really kind of learning what
mm.
that space looked like. I had no idea. I was like, what am I stepping into? And
And what was your role there? Were you a model?
so wardrobe styling, I was like,
Gotcha.
it has
Gotcha.
to be with fashion, has to be with clothing. Like
Mm,
I want to like make beautiful artwork. I want to make people feel really great about
mm,
themselves. And
mm.
so with that, I got to really immerse myself into the artist community and meet all these really beautiful photographers and hair and makeup artists and models and really create that in that space. And that's
Mm,
kind of where my base landed. And then I just
mm,
grew out from there. And now it's
mm,
turned into what it is today.
mm. Well,
Yeah.
tell us, what does it look like today? What does your role look like for those who are listening who aren't familiar with that world?
First and foremost, start is learning every single day. This
Mm,
world, this
mm,
entrepreneurship, like creative contractor world that we like to live in is a world that you are truly waking up every single morning and being like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And you get to do it. And it's kind of fun,
mm.
but terrifying at the same time. So my world has really evolved into my base started with the agency and really going into editorials and runway. So I really got to work with some amazing people. But from there, I really built out my personal styling side.
Mm, mhm,
So the personal styling side is I really get to meet one-on-one with clients and work with them and truly bring their vision to life, whether
mm,
that is everyday wardrobe, whether that's like seasonal clean outs, whether that's they're getting ready for vacation, whatever it might be, like that is one side of it. Then I have the other side where it's grown into commercial and movies. And so I get to work alongside some of the biggest production producers and directors, and I get to work on production sets and TV sets, like things that you see on commercials. Those people are styled. They definitely have a team making things look like that. I can't watch the
mm,
commercials the same way. It's so funny.
mm.
So I built out that side also. And I've also really started honing in on celebrity red carpet, like truly creating art with my clients who just want to evolve with me. So,
Mm. That sounds like so much fun, and I'm sure it's also a lot of work.
yes, yes, it
And
is.
I guess I wonder, as you're talking about that, that sounds like such a cool thing to do, and I wonder, were you ever discouraged as you were trying to figure this out? So you're doing your private clients, the commercial side, the celebrity piece. Did you always know I can figure this out, or were there ever any doubts of like, I can make this into career? Because part of the reason that I wanted to start this podcast was because I wanted people to pursue or encourage or inspire people to pursue work that they
Right.
felt inspired by or fulfillment or
Yeah.
had impact, and figuring out a way to do that and,
Mhm.
and get paid to do
Yeah. The answer is 100% yes. I struggle.
it.
100% yes. There is no way around it. I will never
Mm,
sugarcoat this world.
yeah.
I'll never sugarcoat mental health. Mindset is everything. Worth is everything.
Mm,
And that takes time to truly honor that and get to know that and
mm,
not compare yourself to others. Know that you have your own journey. Know that your higher power is on your side to
mm,
guide you through. 100% yes. It was a struggle. There's times where I would sit with my mom and just be like, is this really what I'm meant to do? Is this
Mm,
really my path and my journey? Like, are you sure? Am I sure? I would give myself deadlines, honestly.
mm,
I remember sitting one time in particular, I was sitting there having this conversation with my mom, and I said, I don't know if I can do this anymore.
mm,
It was everything that you could think of with
mm,
mental health, mindset, comparison, imposter syndrome, like all that stuff that I think everyone goes through. And I said, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to give myself maybe 3 or 4 months, whatever the timeline was. I gave myself a deadline. I'm going to give
mm,
myself to this moment. And in this moment, I'm going to try and find a job, a
mm,
9 to 5 job, someone hire me, see how that looks. So I spent resumes filling out, like I took those few months to truly like hone in on like, this is where I need to go. And I could not focus. I was like,
mm,
this. And then that timeline came up, and I said, okay, you gave yourself that time. It didn't happen. So now
mm,
you're fully investing in
mm,
yourself, in your career, in this world, and there's no turning back now. And
mm,
so until I overcame that,
mm,
until I made that decision for myself and what I wanted for my future, I was going back and forth. And
mm,
so you have to
mm,
allow yourself those moments, of course, because we all have to go through them, but you truly have to make the mindset shift to know that whatever you have set out for yourself and your purpose in this world, like you have to honor it and go for it
mm,
100%. So
mm, that's beautiful. Well, and so it sounds like before you were kind of on the fence. Maybe I'll get a 9 to 5 job, or maybe not. And then once you gave yourself that deadline, that timeline, you're like,
yeah,
okay, I'm committed. I'm going
yeah,
for it fully.
yeah. And whatever that looks like for someone else, that's your journey. My day is never going to be like somebody else's. This entrepreneurship, this life that we've created for ourselves is never going to be the same story. So how you go about your day, how you get over your moments that you're having struggles, like that's your journey, but you need to know that you will figure it out and you'll be able to overcome it. It's just setting those moments for yourself and really working on yourself, whether it's faith, whether it's meditation, whether
Mm,
it's guidance, whatever it might be. It's truly spending those moments and figuring out who you are and what you want
mm.
and what works for you. And then honoring that and giving that to the world.
Well, you mentioned mindset, you mentioned mental health. How
Mhm.
have you personally taken care of your mindset and your mental health?
So, with me personally,
Mhm.
I don't have a set schedule. My day will never look the same,
Mm,
whether it's scheduling, whether it's running somewhere, whether it's a fitting over here, a
mhm,
commercial that starts at 5 a.m., or a job that starts at 7 p.m. I just do not have consistency. And knowing that, and because I need consistency, I wake up every single morning at 5 a.m. I work out at 5:30 to 6:30. I come home, I make my breakfast, I read, I write, I'll meditate on it sometimes. Like I have my spiritual book and I'll just sit there with it, my
mm,
breathing,
mm,
whatever that looks like for me till 8 a.m. That's what
mm,
I do. And then I start my work day on whatever projects need to be up to date. I
mm.
also am truly invested in my foundation and my faith and my walk with my Lord. And then I also definitely see counseling and make sure that my voice and my reasoning and moving through this life, what needs my reactions are things that they need to be. So,
Mm.
pretty much all of it.
Yeah. Well, well, that's what struck me about you when I first met you. I met you pre-pandemic at an event. You were speaking on a panel.
Mhm.
And I think I maybe even told you that you have this light energy. I can sense that you've done a lot of work on yourself and there's a lot of awareness and that you worked on your mindset. And I didn't realize also that faith was such a big part. And I can see how that influences you and everything you do.
It's very calming. And I think in the chaotic world that we have with we don't know what's going to happen next, whether that is in this world and cities and things that are happening that we see on social media or news or whatnot, or the things that are going on in our mind that we can't control,
Mm,
chaotic. We have to find that place where we're able to just know that at the end of the day, like it is us, it's me that I can control. And so with that, I'm going to make sure what I can do so that I can show up to my clients, I can show up to my friends, my family with the best energy, because that is what I'm responsible for.
I love that. And I assume that in your role, the energy you bring is so important. How you
Mhm.
show up for your clients.
Yeah, it is one of the main things that I know that I get a lot of feedback on, is because I'm entering into your personal space.
Hmm.
I don't know what you've been through. I don't know your walk. I don't know what's happened in your day to day. I didn't know what happened this morning. What I can control is me showing up to my clients and making sure that I am delivering my best self so that they leave that meeting, that fitting, whatever it is, feeling their best self also. Then I can change a little bit of their day. That's all that I care about.
And how do you think that's impacted the success of your business?
I think it's a huge impact. I think that's what that goes to say with any kind of line of work you're
Yeah.
in, you truly need to show up with kindness first
Mm,
and foremost, and a really beautiful just sense of like, this is who I
mm,
am, this is what I can offer you,
mm.
and not apologizing for that either. But I think that truly, because nobody wants to work with bad energy.
No.
It's not a thing. Because I am contract, because I am my own business, it's like people don't have to work with me. I am the product. I am the moment.
Yeah.
I'm the thing that people are hiring. So if I'm not showing up my best self, and that's in any kind of field, any line of work, then like they don't ever have to work with me again. And that's their
Mm.
prerogative. So I have to
And,
make sure I'm on.
and that made me think of, I guess the word that came to mind was rejection. How do you deal with rejection? So you just said you're the product, you're who people want to work with as part
Yeah.
of the service you're offering. So how do you deal with that? So I imagine there's someone listening who's wanting to start something or do something where they're the person, the face of the business, they're the
Yeah.
product. And for me as a coach, I'm the coach. So I'm the
Right.
person they're
Right.
hiring. How
Right.
do you deal with that? What are your thoughts on that? How have you dealt with it in the past?
Yeah, so
What's
it
the
definitely comes with time. You definitely have to give yourself that grace. You have to understand your worth. You have to know that the rejection of somebody not wanting to work with you is doesn't mean it's necessarily against you. And you have to make sure that you are doing everything you can in your power, because this is who you are. This is what you can offer, and you're giving that to somebody. And if they don't want to work with you, you know that you walked away doing everything in your power to make sure that you put your best foot forward, and it's not against you all. It's just, it wasn't the connection. And I tell my clients that, any first clients that I have, I tell them going into this, I'm like, if this isn't a fit, that's okay. I have a certain kind of way I work. I have a certain artistry about me. I have a certain things that I will put together. And if you don't like it, that's okay. You just
Mm,
have to know that going into each
mm.
job. And then if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. And always have a contract also.
Yeah. Well, and there's some, I guess, as you're talking, what comes up for me is this feeling of abundance
Mhm.
in that, where this is not my only job. If it doesn't work out, this has to be a real connection. It has to be a mutual. They want to work
Yeah.
with you, you want to work with them. How does that resonate with you?
I mean, I can't do my job if the person I'm working with doesn't accept my brain. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
the things
Yeah.
I'm putting forward, I have to be able to feel like this is the right connection, because then if it is, I can only imagine what we can put together and create
Mm,
together. But
mm,
if I'm getting blocked and I don't see it, then we're not going to create anything, and we're just wasting our time.
mm,
So it's just honoring that and knowing that each client I have is a collaboration, and we're
mm.
truly creating together. And it's not like a one sided, because then I can't do my job.
I was wondering about that. If you saw it as a collaboration, so
Mhm.
input from both you and your clients.
Yes. Yes. I
Mm,
want to make sure that whatever I'm putting my clients in, they feel their absolute best. And if they
Mm,
don't, then I haven't completed my job. So
mhm.
whether it's patterns, colors, fits, size, the whole of the outfit together,
Yeah.
like if
Yeah.
it's not something that they truly love, then I need to go back to the drawing board and make sure that it is something that they would step out in. And if it's
Mm.
not, then that's okay.
Yeah. And earlier you mentioned knowing your worth. How do you think about knowing your worth?
Knowing your worth is practice every
Mm,
day,
mm,
because it goes again with the comparison,
mm,
imposter, past traumas, whatever, what you've been conditioned, what you've been told
mm,
your entire life. So worth stems back from a lot.
mm,
And so it's finding that inner harmony within
mm,
yourself to just know that this is what you can deliver. And this is how I'm stepping out. And I choose to step out and I want to step out into the world. And if somebody doesn't accept that, then that's okay. So
mm,
I think it is just, you have to practice it. It's
mm.
practice is worth.
Practicing every time you're meeting with the client, practicing every time you're creating something.
Practicing every moment you wake up in the morning. As simple as that. Practicing your worth every time you look in the mirror. It's like it starts with you
Mm,
first and foremost.
mm.
And then from there, once you know that and the energy and the love and your worth, then you can start giving that to other people.
Not expecting it from others, but creating it
Never.
from you. Yes, creating it
And
from
never expect things
within.
from others. Yes.
Again, this theme of what can you control? And it's like how
Mhm.
we see ourselves, working on ourselves first
Your
before we.
reaction to things. Those are the things that you can control, are what you can control, and the things you can't, you
Mm,
got to let it go.
yeah. There's this theme of acceptance that I'm picking up on too. What you mentioned earlier, if a client doesn't want to work with me, then that's okay. Letting go and going with the flow of things instead of
Yeah.
resisting.
Everyone's so different in the way they deal, the way they work, the way they grow, of course, but we can only control so many things that happen. And I know, I mean, I'm a Virgo through and through, and I would love a good planning session. And I can only control so many things throughout my day. I can only control my vision and my company and where I want to grow so much. I can only control those things. But like, you truly have to let whatever higher power, whatever energy, whatever thing you believe in guide you, and listen to that intuition, listen to that inner voice that's going to get you to that next step, because it's never wrong and you're never disappointed. It might be
Mm,
not the exact thing that you wanted, or it might have been like, oh, that was different, but
mm,
you have to accept them. And so, yes, I do try to live in a very fluid manner when it
mm,
comes to guidance and abundance and all, like accepting our journey,
mm,
just because I know that what I have set out for myself and what I have an idea for myself in my future is not necessarily what it's going to be.
mm,
And the things that I've imagined for myself, I truly, like, that's not even the tip of what I know is
mm.
possible.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Well, and I love that you said the word fluid. And then also, along with that, the word that comes up for me is a sense of ease too. And
Mhm.
it's instead of trying to hold on really tight and control and resist, when I think of fluid, I think, okay, it's like flowing water, going with it.
Nature.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Possibility.
Yeah. And I actually met with somebody really recently, and I won't share too much of his story, but he's an artist also. And he does floral arrangements. And his name is Patricio from 1234. And he shared something with me that I thought was just really one of those things where I will always remember this,
Mm,
just really
mm,
honorable. I asked him, what's something that I could take away from talking to you? And he said, get out in nature, like get out. He's
Mm,
like, if you think you're in
mm,
nature, you're not in there enough, And I was
mm.
even thinking about being fluid and being intentional and just letting things happen with my life. That moment of earth and water and trees and air and just all combining to like truly, because we can't control what we can't. And so we have to let it go. And the only way I know how to let it go so that my anxiety and things don't creep up at me is to truly just let things happen the way they're supposed
Mm.
to.
That really resonates with me. I just came back from Colorado and we were in the mountains, and there's this sense of awe in just looking at just being out in the beauty of the mountains, the fresh
Mhm.
air, even the physical activity of hiking. There's something
Yes.
so healing about that.
I definitely am right there with you. And I think today we spend so much time looking at our screens and not really getting out and connecting with nature or others or having real conversations. And so that is something that really will help. I know I'll go through spurs, delete my Instagram off my phone. My girl would be so mad at me, but it's fine. I delete it off my phone every once in a while because I just want to enjoy. I want to enjoy conversations with my friends. I want to go do things I maybe haven't done. I want to say yes to things instead of being so captured by me scrolling
Mm,
and
yeah.
thinking, wasting my time in that space. So
Mm,
there's
mm.
definitely something to be said about truly getting outside and spending time and having intentional conversations, because those are going to grow you more than your screen.
Yes, I agree with that completely. And I love that you said connecting with nature, connecting with others. It made me think of something I read recently where it said something like, be happy first, not wait until I accomplish or do or whatever,
Yeah.
acquire, whatever it might be, and then be happy. Be
Mhm.
happy first. And one of
Yeah.
the ways we could do that instead of scrolling on our screens, which we're all guilty of, is
Totally.
going out for a walk,
Yeah.
getting out in nature,
Yeah.
calling a friend. I find that when I'm just mindlessly scrolling, sometimes I'm just looking to connect.
Right. And we'll just connect with somebody who you want to talk to,
Hmm.
really, or who you
Hmm.
haven't caught up with in a little bit. Those are truly special moments. And saying be happy with yourself first, like you just mentioned, every day I have to like tell myself, you are happy right now. Of course you're
Mm,
happy right now. Look at all you have right now. Look at all you've created
yeah.
in your moment in your life right now. Because I can sit here and think about, oh, I want this, or I'm going to be happy when I get this,
Hmm.
or
Hmm.
this relationship, or this job, or this amount of money.
Yes.
And I totally catch myself still doing that, of
Hmm.
course. But then I have to tell myself, no, you truly are in a really beautiful space in your
Mm,
life right now. You have all that you need. Of
mm.
course, you're working towards all the other things that you want. You have all you really need. And so make sure that's where you're giving your time to and not getting too ahead of yourself and living in the present.
Yes. That makes me think of a quote that says, I'll never be with this version of myself again. Let me take my time, or let me really be here with her,
Yeah,
because this is just a special time. And we never really get to the future. It's always the present. And so really being grateful for that.
it truly is. I'm in my 30s now,
Mhm.
and it is something that is taking me. I think it was 30 is when I really started to do the work. I mean, my 20s were so much fun and had a great time, but mentally, I had no idea what I was doing.
Mm, mhm.
So it truly, with anybody listening or anybody looking to get into the entrepreneurship, creative, artistry, contracting field, or just in general, just living their life, just know that it takes time and know that you have to choose
Mm.
to do the work.
And when you say do the work, what
Mhm.
work are you referring to?
The work of knowing the worth, the intention, who you are,
Mm,
and what you truly want, and not just living life every single day just to put one foot in the front of the other, but
mm,
truly live life with intention. So
mm.
whatever that looks like for the next person, that's
Yeah.
their journey. It truly does become a time where you realize there's more to this life than just the everyday things that I do because I thought
Mm.
this is what I was supposed to do.
So if someone's listening today, Alex, and they're listening to you, they're feeling inspired by you and want to do more of the work and also maybe pivot, right? So
Mhm.
maybe they're not feeling a sense of fulfillment in whatever it is they're doing, or maybe
Yeah.
just in general in life. Well, what do you want to say to that person?
I would say that you truly only have this one life. So why not do
Mm,
it? I will also say that it is your purpose to do exactly what you were supposed to do and what you are called to do, whatever that might be. So
mm.
honor it. Have fun. Life is so short. We do not want boring. We do not want you to get stuck in a space that you don't want to be stuck in. Know that you have a support system somewhere. It might not be immediate, it might not be the current groups that you have. So know that you will have a support system. You just have to find it.
And how can people go about finding a support system?
What do you like to do? What do you want to do? Who's the person that you really look up to? Finding that mentor. I would say letting go of
Mm,
people that do not serve you is
mm,
huge, which
mm,
that is so hard for some
mm,
people. It's truly finding your tribe,
mm.
and whether that group is with something you want to do, whether it's a group that's just completely different from anything you've ever experienced and you're just want to give it a try. It's finding the people that are going to support you and have the conversations with you and really inspire and drive you.
Yeah, and value you, I think
Mm-hmm.
too. I saw something on Instagram yesterday where it was like a water bottle can be worth 25 cents at the supermarket,
Uh-huh.
$6 at the movie theater, and
Yep.
$10 at the, I don't know, plane or
Yeah.
sporting event. So it's
Yep.
really the environment
It,
and how you're valued.
it's truly the environment because even when I was first starting out, I would just take all the jobs,
Mm,
all the time, saying yes,
mm,
which you have to do, of course. Like that is definitely something for me that I was like, this is what I have to do. But going through that and knowing your worth, figuring that out, knowing your specialty, knowing who the kind of people you want to work with, you kind of start tailoring it down and knowing that you don't have to work sun up to sundown 7 days a week because you're getting calls. You need to truly value who you are and what you
mm.
have to offer and only do jobs that are going to serve you and that you can serve.
How can people work with you? How can people find out more about you or learn more
Oh, I
about you?
love this. Okay. So on my social media website, everything is all styled by Cohen. You can reach out to me. I will respond. And I have that's super easy. It's just website, Instagram, TikTok ish. And you can just slide into my DMs or send me an email at info@styledbycohen. And I am always looking to chat with people and talk with people. I love sharing just this space that I have created for myself with other people's and showing that you can also do it and kind of giving insight to that. And then I am definitely looking to build my team too, which I'm really excited about. And I know that I connect a lot with college students and people who are looking to get into the fashion industry and just always see if there's a connection there.
Oh my gosh, thank you. That's so generous. I'm sure there's someone listening who would love to reach out. So thank you for offering that.
Of
And
course.
thank you for being so generous in your conversation today, being so open. I know this is going to resonate with people. It resonated with me. So thank you.
I
Thank
love
you.
it. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course.